Hi, friends. Welcome to Pieces Here, the daily series exploring the architects of enough. We continue our theme, creative vision and mindful craft, honoring Gary Snyder. He has walked between worlds, the poetic, the wild, the contemplative. His life asks, what does it mean to be human on a human-shaped planet? Architect of enough. Gary Snyder's life has been a quiet, persistent practice of listening to forests, mountains, Buddhist teachers, indigenous traditions, and working people. Born in 1930 and raised on a small farm in Washington state, Snyder was rooted early in the Pacific Northwest timberlands. His early work as a trail crew member, logger, and fire lookout embedded him in the rhythms of land and labor, and those rhythms became the backbone of his poetry. Though briefly associated with the Beat generation, Snyder consistently turned toward the land rather than the city and toward long-form ecological practice rather than literary celebrity. He spent many years studying Zen Buddhism in Japan and was profoundly influenced by Native American worldviews. His Pulitzer Prize-winning 1974 collection, Turtle Island, combined poems and essays that honored indigenous wisdom and called for an ecological ethic grounded in place. The title, Turtle Island, refers to a name for North America used in many indigenous creation stories. Snyder's use of the term reflects his belief that this continent should be seen not as a resource, but as relative, something we are part of, not something we own. Snyder later helped popularize the idea of bioregionalism, living according to the natural boundaries of watersheds and ecosystems rather than artificial political lines. His life is a testament of how creative focus requires us to live lightly and notice deeply, finding enoughness in our immediate surroundings. If you'd like to experience his voice directly, start with Turtle Island or the later collection, The Practice of the Wild. Both continue to offer practical poetic wisdom about how to belong. The Enough Reflection. Speak your place. Snyder teaches that our deepest words come from the ground we know. In a world of abstraction, saying something concrete about land, water, tree, or fire is itself humble clarity. When you write, speak, or act, do so from the place you stand, not from borrowed ideas. Let your life be poetry that the land can read. This reminds me of one of the peace tips from Peace Stuff Enough, the new companion book to One More Year. You can find it and follow the Kickstarter at avaskalfsbeck.com/Kickstarter. Pedro says, while working as a fire lookout in the Cascades, Gary Snyder made it a personal rule to keep his cabin so simple and clean that he could abandon it at any moment without any worry over possessions. This practice, drawn from his Zen discipline, was the ultimate embodiment of his belief in living lightly on the earth. What is my ground? My home, land, water, community that shapes my words and actions. What if I turned from abstraction to address what is immediate? My place, my moment, my earth. Words to keep. From The Practice of the Wild, Gary Snyder reminds us that poetry can be an act of listening, a necessary recalibration. He wrote, "The poet as the one who helps read the land, as one among many, is one possible restorer of necessary balance." If this daily message has brought you peace, please take a moment to subscribe and share this episode with someone who needs it. That was the life and wisdom of our architect of enough for this episode. If their story has inspired you to seek your own path to less consumption and more contentment, then please step off the treadmill with me. Let's learn from the architects of enough and discover together that for our planet, for our community, and for ourselves, peace is here. To follow my work, including the new book, Peace Stuff Enough, the entire Pedro the Water Dog Saves the Planet series, and the podcast archive, visit avaskalfsbeck.com. That's also where you can find the link to my current Kickstarter. Our music is Dalai Lama Riding a Bike by the talented Javier Peque Rodriguez. You can find links to his music on Spotify and Bandcamp in the show notes. Thank you again. Listen for the peace.